first of all, I would suggest to challenge yourself with a stricter rhythm. It will put you even in a more difficult position, but it will open up more problems that you can solve. Because I think you are cushioning yourself by play a little bit slower here and a little bit faster there.
Yeah.
The music doesn't allow that. Yes. Tell me in your own words, this execution things, this discomfort that you, more specifically, what is it?
Of course, now I'm a bit shaky because of the context,
Yeah.
and that also doesn't help. But usually in my normal state, I feel in passages, for example, here. That I could do somehow the bow division a bit better. I don't know if it's maybe me overthinking, or if it comes across that it's a bit tight, you know?
Yes.
And also when there's a string change.
There is no problem there.
Okay.
There is no problem there, no. No, what you could do, you overthink a little bit musically. Go back as to the fundamental character. You don't have to think.
Yeah.
It's still friendly, it's not aggressive, so there is not cataclysmic, it's just more humorous. That's where you could take a little bit of time.
Before the... Yeah.
And just play it more simple, also technically more simple. You're trying to make it more difficult for yourself, maybe controlling and manipulating a little bit too much. For instance, you mentioned in piano it's brittle, because you're trying to control the sound. Don't tense up, because any tension that you bring, you want to hold the sound like this, it will break and it will not be attractive. So I think it's important to find comfortable. A very comfortable way of producing the sound without tensing up. So try just this, find that sound by relaxing, not controlling. Yes, and don't hit the string. So you do this by engaging a little bit more the arm motion rather than tick tick. Yes, that's it. Perfect. So it is not aggressive, and yet it is projecting very well. It's powerful. Also, when you try to do something like mezzo di voce, try to do it more with the speed of the bow rather than torquing in. Because what it does to the sound, it doesn't really do mezzo di voce. Mezzo di voce, it has done with this kind of bow. So you have plenty of cushion for this. Here, when you torque, the sound gets thin. So it's not what you want. Good. More pulling the sound out rather than squeezing. Yes. Bravo. Yes. Physically, it may seem to you that you're producing less sound. But it is twice as much. Because you're not squeezing it, and it's free to go.
Yes.
And so transfer this idea pretty much to everything, because this is systemic. This is not only about this play or even Mozart. Good. Make it a clear difference on the string, on the string. And on this. So more treble of the bow with the arm motion. Not too shallow. See, I cheat with harmonics.
Yeah. Question exactly in this passage. That was also a question for myself because he writes dots in the whole passage, and I'm like, okay, should we really do it, or let's really make the difference? Like,
well, in those days, the stakes were up to the interpreter.
Maybe it's because he wanted it so separated but not short. Maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good. And this may be my personal, but
yeah.
I'm talking about appoggiatura. Appoggiatura should always get the weight. Because musically that's where it's happening. But instead of what you
okay.
I would avoid this because that makes the music more square.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing you told me was to sink in,
yes.
you know, in the this feeling of really being.
Yeah, especially when you're up on the E string, everybody has a tendency to be intimidated. Yeah. And so it goes like...
You automatically go like this.
It's cool. Yeah, it's like you're in a rope under the ceiling. So you compensate, you sink in, and if you, I tell you, if you play right now 3-4 times, sink in, and then you build the tempo, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's good for drill. I learned this when I was, I had to learn Devil's Trill for Mr. Heifetz in 2 days. He wouldn't give more time. And I was asking desperately everybody, how do I do it? How do I do it? And one of the old guys in the studios, who also studied with Leopold Dauer at 7 times, he told me, you have to sing, and then your trills will be brilliant. Yeah. So I remember it.
Well, it works.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Otherwise, I couldn't play it. There was all this tension.
Yes, in the whole time. Yeah.
But so basically, to your question, the bigger question of managing all this, relaxation, more trusting your arm, even at times imagining that your bow is connected here, that you don't have this part at all. It will help tremendously. You're a very intuitive player. You immediately feel that. So that would really, really open up some new things for you. And here, again, trust the weight. Just ground it. Ground it here and ground it here. That's generally that's what it for intricate place like this, in fourth concerto, the most difficult. You absolutely need it. Otherwise, it will be.
Yes, always shaky and all
like this. Where am I? You know?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Good. Yes. Good. This is much better. Now the passage. It's anxiety to go to the next appoggiatura. So if you do it, if you steal the forward momentum, then you are not musically taking advantage. So lead this. So not so much. This is. It's much more dramatic. Yeah. And also it's more vocal. You will not hear a great singer. And if you imagine the surface of the sound, you're flipping it all the time. No need to. Go to one level. You understand what I'm talking about? Instead of at the speed, there's no need to, and it slows you down. It's like junk in too much clutter.
Yeah.
You're doing it very, very well. But it still dissatisfies you, right? You're talking.
I think I feel the need to control too much this arm,
Yes.
you know, and I would like to have more precision in the
Okay, yeah. So, as I said, trust your bow. Trust that it will happen, not controlling. If you simplify it, like in slow motion. See what I'm doing? I'm not finagling the depth in the sound. I'm not doing this because that disturbs the flow of music. So you choose, you simplify actually for yourself. You choose this. And the second element, so I'm in. I'm doing it. No. And then the formula is more intensity on a separate note because you're playing. So make it simple. Try it. Try it. Slow. Slow. Yeah. Avoid this. Good. Okay. And now really imagine that your bow is connected here. Good. It's like you're waxing a car and you want to have absolutely even shine.
Okay.
So you lean the same way. You're not going like this. The same feeling. Bravo! Bravo! much better. Much different. Better is not the word, it's a different
Yeah.
quality.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's very good. Now that should be comforting because it much simplifies what you're doing.
It does.
And the result is much better. You could only hear it well when you record yourself. I suggest, because what it seems when you go to this, I remember myself, when you go to this way of playing, it feels you're doing nothing and you're being totally unmusical.
Yes, I had the same feeling now. I was like,
I know.
but I'm boring.
How boring, exactly. I remember my epiphany when I was recording and I thought, okay, let me, after master classes with Milstein, he opened up something incredible. He said, just don't do anything, don't spoil. And I said, well, let me try. And I'll be boring. I will just shake a little vibrato, pull my bow, uncomplicated. And then I recorded it and I listened back. And I said, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I want. So I know that feeling. Record yourself and stick to it. If you don't be fooled by this feeling, because this is precious. Yes. It takes your sound, your articulation, your playing, your musicality to a different level. Because I find that only then your personality, your own feelings of music can shine. Otherwise, you're fighting for the noise all the time. The noise of control, the noise of manipulation. The answer is easier than you think.
Yes.
It's not more manipulated.
Yes.
It's much less.